The universe carries an infinite amount of objects of unknown origins in the eagerness to fulfill a dream not permitted by the beings that originated them, to explore deep space in its farthest reaches.
With the rapid advancement of technologies, will humans at some point be allowed to venture into deep space, spreading throughout the Milky Way, leaving our small blue dot to create communities in the vast, habitable star systems out there? This is a truly curious question because it is currently believed that there are about 300 billion stars in the galaxy, spanning approximately 160,000 light-years, with these stars carrying at least 100 million habitable planets like Earth. It's difficult to grasp this scale in numbers, but it becomes easy to understand when we consider that all the stars we see in the sky represent less than 0.0002% of all the stars in the Milky Way. With all these worlds available just in our galaxy, faced with human technology, so far we have only managed to send 2 spacecraft out of our solar system, traveling at a very slow speed. At this rate, they would take over 2.5 billion years to cross the galaxy from end to end, a time that humanity is unlikely to be alive to witness. But perhaps the greatest challenge we face when facing distances in space involves the question of human survival. The distance between stars is immense, as we could not sustainably live on most planets we come across along the way. We need many resources to keep us alive for all that time, yet researchers have found that theoretically this idea is still possible, and not only to propagate human civilization throughout the galaxy, but to do so very quickly without violating any laws of physics. These ideas were based on the work of a Hungarian-American mathematician and physicist named John von Neumann, who made significant contributions in his time, among them, on the role of machines that could self-replicate and create new generations of themselves, becoming known as von Neumann machines. In space travel, self-replicating spacecraft were developed to explore specific targets in the universe and send information back home. These probes would be built on Earth and launched into space. Upon reaching distant planets, they would land and begin exploring. As they are self-sufficient, they can collect available resources and energies, and then build copies of themselves and send them to closer planets. With this cycle repeating, it would result in the creation of millions of probes spreading throughout the universe. Studies have shown that a single von Neumann machine, traveling at 5% of the speed of light, could reproduce throughout the galaxy. The spacecraft could be propelled by both ion propulsion and solar sails. However, in these cases, the speed would take time to be achieved. So, at least initially, more brute techniques like nuclear explosions in space could provide an additional boost to these ships until they reach higher speeds. Thus, even though it is a risky means, it is the one that can help the most in gaining this momentum to overcome this barrier. We humans could conquer the Milky Way in approximately 4 million years. Although this seems like a long time in cosmic terms, it is incredibly fast. So much so that if the universe were condensed into a lifespan equivalent to 1 year, this galactic conquest would correspond to just over 2.5 hours of that same year. One of the technologies that could help us with these Neumann machines, currently in development, are artificial intelligences, which will assist us in the miniaturization of systems and optimization of propulsion methods. However, if we intend to use them to send humans across the galaxy, we would need an additional technological breakthrough that scales to more complex levels, including the ability to artificially create biological organisms using natural elements and genetic manipulations. However, even with these barriers being overcome, distances in space are cruel, and one of the problems we face with this involves communication.
Central calling. Pandora respond. Pandora listening?
Light travels at a constant but finite speed. This means that as we move away from Earth, messages take longer to reach. Therefore, initial communications would be feasible, but as the spacecraft moves away, What is simple becomes a rather complex task, and we don't need to go far to witness these effects. Proxima Centauri at 4.2 light-years away, it would take 4.2 years for the message to be sent, and 4.2 years for the response message to be received. So stars more than 30 light-years away start to pose problematic paths, as only one message exchange within the current human lifespan would allow each generation to communicate only once. Thus, those who choose this path of exploration would have to accept that life should be focused entirely there, and no longer on the attachments of our pale blue dot. However, this long-term distancing has side effects, potentially leading us to great differentiations of our species. This is because, as has happened and continues to happen here on Earth, when a species is isolated from others for a long time, they differentiate from each other until they reach a point where they are considered a new species. So, if one day this happens, we ourselves would be the basis of these aliens from this distant future. If some kind of intelligent life had created such a machine in the last billions of years and had programmed it to replicate towards us, our galaxy would currently be full of them. So, where are all these machines? Some astronomers, like Carl Sagan, have stated that intelligent alien civilizations probably wouldn't build self-replicating machines. They believe that these machines could get out of control, exploiting planets to continue replicating. Other scientists suggest that their absence can be interpreted as evidence that intelligent alien civilizations simply do not exist, or that they were extinct before reaching the stage of development necessary to create such technologies. However, even with these limitations and lack of evidence, people still allow themselves to imagine what it would be like if these machines were present. For example, science fiction author David Brin explores a universe where different von Neumann machines coexist and multiply. Some machines are created to discover new civilizations, while others are designed to locate and neutralize them before they pose a threat. This fits into the Berserker hypothesis we've discussed here before. In one of his tales, some of these von Neumann machines carefully observe Earth, patiently waiting for humanity to reach a certain level of sophistication so they can take energetic actions. So far, all we have are theories. However, the next time you look at the sky, consider that billions of self-replicating machines may be heading towards our galaxy at this very moment. And if they really exist, one of them may one day land on Earth, or perhaps they are already among us.